Welcome to the World Rally Championship. We're back in Portugal after a 5-year absence. It's an event where the action is impressive and the fans turn out in their thousands. Plus, it was voted the best rally of the season on 6 occasions. But after 2001, the rally lost its slot in the calendar, and after 2 years as a candidate event, Portugal returns, but this time there's a difference. The rally has moved south to the holiday region of the Algarve, making it a new event for almost all the drivers.
I think this is some of the most difficult stages I've ever done in my whole life. It's so unseen over crest, and I think the second day of the rally is going to be very, very tricky. It's not that fast, but you are just going over the crests all the time, and it's very flowing but turning.
They are mixed of everything a little bit, mixed of Mexico, Sardinia, maybe sometimes Greece a little bit.
It's a lot of corner behind some crest, some long corner tightening.
To be very fast there you have to take some chances.
Marcus Gronholm still leads the championship by 4 points after his second place in Mexico. He has bittersweet memories of Portugal, having crashed on his first 4 outings here. But the stages in the Algarve should be to his liking.
I am quite confident that it will be a good rally, but not easy. I mean, it will be fight.
But he'll be keeping a close eye on his rival Sebastien Loeb. The Frenchman notched up his 30th WRC win in Mexico, which in turn helped him move into second in the championship. But Loeb struggled with his notes on the last new rally in Norway, so he'll be looking for a steady start here.
In Norway I had a lot of corners that I ride too fast, so here I tried not to do it, so we'll see.
Mikko Hirvonen was someone who didn't struggle with his new notes in Norway, leading from start to finish. He has the added advantage of having driven some of these stages in 2005, so he'll be one of the favourites.
For sure I'll try to win here as well, but we have to see on Friday. Then I'll go flat out and then see what's the situation after the first leg, and then we'll see what's the kind of a tactic for Saturday and Sunday.
Don't rule out Subaru's Peter Solberg. He led in Mexico in his remodelled Impreza and would have proved a rival to Loeb had a freak rock not hold the oil cooler. He knows he has the speed. Now he just needs some luck.
The car is even better now, so let's hope we can drive even quicker.
So, after 4 events, there's just 4 points separating Gronholm and Loeb. Mikko Hirvonen's third place in Mexico extended his lead over Danny Sordo to 13 points. Peter Solberg's failure to finish in Mexico means he's 7th and still behind his teammate Chris Atkinson. The rally takes place to the north of Faro. The event starts and finishes with a super special in the Algarve Stadium. Each day is made up of 2 loops of stages, with day 2 being the longest. In all, the drivers will tackle 18 tests, which equates to 357 competitive kilometres. Coming up, the rally world is going green. We look at the OMV team's carbon neutral project. The fans turn out in force for this rally, but this year the organisers are ready for them. Sebastien Loeb is the most successful driver ever. We try to find out what makes him so special. This is the Estadio Algarve, built for football's 2004 European Championships, and now the venue for a dramatic super special stage. 20,000 rally fans, and the stage is set for a rally spectacular. Portugal's return to the WRC starts with memories of past heroes. And then it's the turn of today's stars. Instead of 22 men and a ball, try 2 men and 300 brake horsepower. Oh, but there's an early mistake by Stobart VK Ford's Jani-Matti Latvala. Now this is, as I said, a spectacle, so stage times aren't the only things that matter. It's also a place to strut your stuff in front of the masses, and some do it better than others. And what better way to woo the locals than by donning their colours? The consummate showman, Gigi Gali, puts on the Portuguese football team shirt, and don't the fans love it? Not much can beat that, though for the record, the fastest time comes courtesy of Marcus Gronholm. The Finn is 2 seconds quicker than anyone else. So this is how the top 6 looks as we go into the first real stage of the rally, a return to the Portuguese hills for Marcus Gronholm, the championship leader and early rally leader. He needs to come out of the blocks quickly. In Mexico, he started slowly, and by the time he'd resolved all his niggling problems, he was too far off the lead to battle for the win. And this, of course, is the man Gronholm and everyone else wants to beat. Sebastien Loeb took his second win of the season in Mexico, the 30th of his career, proof that the C4's great on gravel and that Seb's determined to defend his world title. Mikko Hirvonen shot into the spotlight recently. All the promising podiums at the end of last year leading to that win in Australia and this season's victory in Norway, the first new rally of the season. This, of course, is the second new event, and he's definitely in the running. We're back with Gronholm now. He's keen to extend that tiny 2.3 second lead carried over from the Super Special last night. As you can hear from his voice, there's something he's not happy about. At the end of the stage, his mood's no better. There's no chance of an interview. He wants to inspect some damage to his car. He must have had a run-in with something. The Ford's looking a little battered after the opening 20 kilometres of the day. And a damaged tyre. The anti-puncture mousse system has been activated, so he's hit something in there. Back at the start, Peter Solberg in the modified Impreza will be wanting to build on his performance in Mexico. The team have carried on working on the car since the trip to North America, and their target here is for both Peter and his teammate Chris Atkinson to finish in the top 5. Sebastien Loeb, meanwhile, is still in the stage, and the split suggests he's not been able to nibble away at Gronholm's advantage. These stages are twistier on the whole than those of Mexico. The C4, though, wider than the Zara, still seems good in technical sections, and Seb's a very neat driver. Nonetheless, he's 3 seconds slower than Marcus. Hirvonen 6th overall following the Super Special, but will be hoping to improve on that. He does have that advantage of having driven here in 2005, though that was in a Group N car rather than a WRC car, so he won't have been at the same high speeds. That's his teammate Gronholm's time. So what can Mikko do? Yes, he's 2 seconds faster than his teammate, now 2.9 seconds behind him overall, and he moves up the leaderboard. So perhaps his drive in 2005 has helped him.
You're 2 seconds quicker than Marcus. It's obviously helped a little bit.
Yeah, but it's I remember the road, but I don't know how fast I can go with World Rally car, so it doesn't help so much. But you know, the stages are really enjoyable anyway, so it's a good start.
Danny Sordo's on stage now. He's been here for the last 2 years. So perhaps, like Mikko, he'll benefit. The team already have. The onboard information that he and Mark Marty supplied has assisted Citroen's preparation for the event. But despite last year, he still can't match Mikko's pace and drops 3 places on the table. Rejoining Peter now, he's coming to the end of the stage. He and Loeb set exactly the same time in the Super Special last night, and with Loeb dropping time to Hirvonen and Gronholm in this stage, Solberg has a good chance to climb ahead of the world champion. So there's Loeb stage time, and there won't be a great deal in it. Approaching the red boards now. The Norwegian's faster, a second quicker than Seb, and he climbs above the Frenchman, taking third place overall. A lot of movement on the leaderboard. Gronholm still top, and now his teammate Hirvonen second, with Solberg in that final podium place. Loeb's just a second behind, closely followed by the other Citroen, Danny Sordo. It's a Ford 1-2 at the moment, but that man Loeb is just 6 seconds behind the early leader Gronholm. There's plenty more action to come after the break. Welcome back to Rally Portugal. When you think of motorsports, you're unlikely to consider it as being environmentally friendly. Let's face it, they don't call rally fans petrol heads for nothing. But if you think the sports are responsible, think again. This team, OMB Kronos Citroen, are part of a green vanguard in the WRC.
We neutralized our rally team, therefore we are the first carbon neutral World Rally team in the FIA World Rally Championship.
They already developed a rally car that runs on natural gas. The Mitsubishi competes in the Austrian National Championship. Their latest green policy is to offset their carbon emissions by first calculating the team's carbon footprint. Their premises account for 1.8 tonnes of emissions. Then there's fuel, the rally cars, HGVs and recce cars. Another 77 come from deliveries. Hotel nights cause a surprising 99. But here's the biggie. Air travel responsible for 1,336 tonnes of CO2 emissions. With the help of the carbon neutral company, the 1,776 tonnes of carbon emissions are translated to 31,000 euros worth of support for renewable energy schemes around the world.
Acting responsibly for a rally team is great because it sends a great signal to the sport and perhaps to other sports that they've got to realise the impact of having these events is creating a massive amount of emissions and they can do something about it.
But isn't it a bit far-fetched to hope the whole WRC could go green? Not, according to Bridget Mulvich.
I guess it's not an expensive process. It's absolutely possible for the whole World Rally Championship because the costs are about Euro 31,000, and we offset 2 cars for 16 runs during the World Rally Championship, including the flights, including hotel nights, including everything. So it could be easy that the whole World Rally Championship is carbon neutral.
Let's get back to the action now, and after 2 stages, Marcus Gronholm leads from teammate Mikko Hirvonen with Petter Solberg third. And Ford's Big Finn, despite that damage we saw to his Focus at the end of stage 2, takes his second stage win on 3. Marcus's rally lead extended to just under 10 seconds. With an advantage of just 4 points in the driver's standings, he'll be desperate to stay ahead. Second fastest on stage 3 is Petter Solberg. He made a few setup changes to his Impreza before the start of the stage. It seems to have helped. He climbs over Hirvonen to take second overall. But in stage 4, Gronholm struggling. The rally leader is experiencing steering problems. A heavy landing in stage 2 damaged the shock absorber. He drops time, and this could cost him the lead. Sebastien Loeb's fourth, coming into stage 4, 12.8 seconds behind Gronholm. He knows the Ford man's having some trouble and sees the chance to attack. There's Marcus's stage time, and Seb's looking quick. He's not far from the end of the stage, and look at the times. I think he's going to beat the Finn, but can he overhaul him? 12.8 seconds the difference, remember. Not quite, but he's bitten a huge chunk out of Marcus's lead. He's just 2.6 seconds behind. Second place, Petter Solberg, is in the prime position to take advantage of Gronholm's difficulties, starting the stage just 10 seconds behind. But no joy for the Norwegian. He's only 4th fastest on stage and drops from 2nd to 4th. So Loeb jumps from 4th to 2nd and becomes Gronholm's closest challenger. Hirvonen stays 3rd, just 3.9 seconds ahead of Solberg. Further back, Chris Atkinson has climbed into the top 8. Back at service, Marcus Gronholm's engineers are repairing the damage to his Focus. Marcus keeping a close eye on proceedings.
Marcus, what happens in stage 2?
No, first I had a big jump and landing a little bit badly, and I think we destroyed the shock absorber already there, and then in the end of the stage I took really badly a stone as well, so then we had a little bit problems all the time.
One man rather happier with his morning is Peter Solberg.
Peter, you seem to be enjoying yourself this morning.
Yeah, he's been going really well. Really happy so far, and we were laying second into the last stage. But I tried some different things with the car that didn't work so well on the last stage. We lost too much traction, but at least I have to try many things now to at least find out where to go with the chassis. And since I lost so much testing in Mexico, but it's looking good, looking really good.
The afternoon is a repeat run through the morning stages, so expect faster stage times as confidence comes with familiarity. Manfred Stoll, driving for the carbon-neutral OMV Kronos Citroën team, has been performing in his usual steady fashion. The season hasn't started with a bang for Manfred. His best result this year, 6th in Mexico. That's the position he's holding at the end of stage 5, but he'll want to improve. One man who's already improved is Jari-Matti Latvala. After falling to 18th following a stall on stage 2, he's been on the attack. A third fastest time on stage 6 sees him overhaul Stoll to take 6th place from the Austrian. With his car repaired, Marcus Gronholm's also in the mood to put in some barnstorming performances. His rally leads just a tiny 2.5 seconds, remember, with Sebastien Loeb snapping at his heels. He wins stage 5, increasing his advantage to 6 seconds. But on the next stage, it's a different story. Whether it's tyre wear, setup, or simply a better drive, this stage suits Seb. No one can match him. He beats Marcus by 4.5 seconds. The margin between them cut to just 1.5 seconds overall. Peter Solberg was second fastest on stage 5, closing to just 1 second off Mikko Hirvonen in third. So a chance to move back onto the podium with a good drive on stage 6. That ends his hopes of overtaking Mikko. Instead, he drops further back. But if you thought Peter had problems, have a look at this. Martin Prokop competing in the FIA Junior Championship, proving that a little mistake can have huge repercussions. Amazingly, neither driver or co-driver suffered any serious injury, which is more than can be said for their car. After stage 6 then, the only real mover or shaker is Latvala, up to 6th with Stoll now 7th. Gronholm's lead over Loeb's looking very fragile, and there's not much between Hirvonen and Solberg either. And we'll concentrate on those battles in stage 7, 16 kilometres of tricky Portuguese gravel. Peter comes into the stage just 4.5 seconds behind third place Mikko Hirvonen, and is trying in every sector to outperform his rival. This car does seem to be an improvement on last year's version, but instead of overhauling the Finn, he drops another 3 seconds to his rival. So one Ford man stays ahead, but what about the other? Marcus Gronholm has one of the toughest tasks in the WRC, trying to keep Sebastien Loeb behind him. You can feel in the way this battle's going that Loeb smells blood and is in for the kill, so Marcus has to put in a superlative performance. Back at the stage start, Seb's waiting for the signal to go. He says that already he nearly feels more comfortable with the C4 than with the Serra. And remember, he won 28 rallies with that car and 2 now with the C4. He says it's good in fast sections and doesn't understeer when the going gets technical. And he's certainly pushing here. Back with Marcus, and the Finn will soon be approaching the 10.4 kilometre split, and this will give us some idea of his pace. This is about 2/3 of the way through the stage. There's the split time, 7 minutes and 10.3 seconds. And we'll ride with Seb now through that section and see what his time is through the split. The first run through this test gave Seb his first stage win in Portugal. He was 10 seconds faster than Marcus, remember. Right, he's coming to that split now. Looking nice and smooth. 7 minutes, 6.1, that's 4.2 seconds faster, and that's enough to take the lead at this point. Remember, he's just a second and a half behind overall, so Marcus would have to put in a serious push over the final 6 kilometres if he's to have any hope. It may be too late for him, there's not far to go now. The pressure's really on the Ford man. This is his favoured surface, and to win the championship he needs to better the Frenchman's results on gravel, and Seb's already beaten him in Mexico. And that's not a bad stage time though from Marcus. Well, Seb had that advantage at the split. It's possible, of course, that he's dropped time in the later part of the stage, so let's see what he can do. We're into the last few hundred metres. There's Gronholm's time, and Seb's really pulled out all the stops here. It's been an impressive performance from the Frenchman, but is it good enough to take the rally lead? Yes, he's done it. 4.6 seconds faster. Seb takes the lead. He's now 3.1 seconds ahead of the Finn.
Sebastien, you finished in 4.6 in front, so that means you're in the lead now.
Yeah, we take the lead now, but fight is really close with Marcus, and also Peter here. Vatanen is not far, so it's an interesting rally for the moment. It's far to be finished. I think we will have to continue to fight like this tomorrow and probably on Sunday.
Using virtual spectator technology, we can see Loeb crossing the line, beating Gronholm. And if the top 4 had started the stage at the same time, look how incredibly far behind the unstoppable Loeb they would be. There's Heavenen's Ford, and even further back, the blue Subaru of Peter Solberg. So, day 1 ends with Sebastien Loeb at the top of the leaderboard. Gronholm is demoted to second. His teammate Heavenen's a further 22 seconds back, and Mikko's still under threat from Solberg. Sordo, Latvala, Stoll and Atkinson make up the top 8. It's been a day full of action on Portugal's return, and there's plenty more to come. Day 2 follows after the break. Welcome back to Portugal, and well done if you've realised that we've gone back in time to the 1990s, in fact. You could say that Rally Portugal was the victim of its own success. The fans were just too enthusiastic, and it was hard to ensure their safety. Another reason why it lost its WRC status was the weather in the north of the country where the rally was held. The rain in 2001 turned it into a mud bath. Here in the Algarve, the weather's more reliable, and because the countryside is less densely populated, it's easier to close roads and thus enhance the safety of spectators. What's more, the region's keen to help the organisers.
The people are very concerned about how things are going and how things are running, especially on the safety reasons, because of the continuity of the rally and the World Rally Championship. And this is something that everyone in Portugal likes very much, the sport, and they are very interested in remaining with the rally in the WRC Championship. And they understand they have to help the organization to keep the rally on the WRC.
To keep the 500,000 spectators safe, there are 600 marshals, as well as 1,080 police officers, 80 medical staff and 50 firefighters are also in attendance. It's a huge feat of organisation. Before we rejoin the action on day 2, let's catch up with a couple of stories from lower down the leaderboard. Gigi Gali, who was a star of the Super Special, has made rather less of an impact on the stages. He's running 12th. Just ahead of him in 11th place is Henning Solberg for Stobart VK Ford. The Norwegian says he's lacking in confidence. Brit Guy Wilkes is in his second outing in his Ford Focus. After disappointment in Norway when he got sucked into a snowbank, he's keen to get some kilometres under his belt to learn the car. But that won't help his education. His participation in Rally Portugal ended on stage 3.
You're right. Get out. I don't believe it. Get out.
So back to day 2, and the Algarve's weather might be more reliable, but even so it's raining, and that makes tyre choice more critical. What's the right compromise between pace, durability and grip? Only time will tell. Out on stage 8, Jari-Matti Latvala, who ended day 1 with 2 third-place stage times, is an impressive 6th place overall. There are high hopes of this young driver, but he does have the tendency to make the odd mistake. And that's just what happens here. He's the first to misjudge the grip levels in these tricky wet conditions, but at least he survives. Petter Solberg took a hard compound tyre with medium cuts. That suggests he's sacrificing some grip for the chance to attack.
Into short heavy left, tightens.
Oh, but he's off at the same place as Latvala. Co-driver Phil Mills says carry on through the safety tape and on their way, not too much time lost. Just 7.5 seconds ahead overall is Mikko Hirvonen. He opted for medium soft tyres, but despite Solberg's excursion, he still loses 3 seconds to his rival. His teammate Marcus Gronholm, now 2nd overall, has taken a different tyre choice, medium hard. He's been faster than Sebastien Loeb on the early splits, but the Frenchman is starting to catch him.
Marcus, the split times were all promising in your favour, and then just at the end you've lost out.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit sleepy. More sleepy in the end, and he have better tyres for that, but he will be destroyed in the next 2, I'm sure.
Sebastien Loeb went in an entirely different direction, taking soft tyres, a risky choice surely with more than 76 kilometres of abrasive gravel before service, but he's banking on the stage's remaining wet. Well, he was down on the early splits, but by the end of the stage, he's closing right up on Gronholm, and he might even beat the Finn here. Yes, he's 2 seconds faster. His rally lead now 5.1 seconds.
I had to push hard. The conditions are really slippery. We have some softer tires, so I think it's in this one. For me, I think it was a good choice. So we'll see in the next stages. If it's drying, it's not good for me.
Well, Gronholm was wrong about his harder tyres coming good on the next stage. He dropped another 5.8 seconds to Loeb on stage 9. Still pretty tight at the top though, and there's that battle for 3rd. But further down the table, there are already big margins between the drivers. On to stage 10, Almodovar, and Citroën team boss Guy Frekkeland is heading out to the hills to watch his drivers. While he takes his chopper ride, let's catch up with Chris Atkinson, who's under pressure now from the chasing Daniel Carlson, less than half a second behind overall. The Australian hasn't felt at all comfortable here, complaining yesterday that the car's balance wasn't right.
9 right on Christine, then 9 left, minus 60, brake short right, 30.
Well, you heard the driver shout. He knew this was coming. I think he missed a pace note there. Both Chris and Glenn McNeil unharmed, though the car's a mess. This is only 700 metres into the stage, but they won't be going any further today. 7th place Manfred Stoll is the next car to tackle the stage. The Austrian has been his usual steady self. Oh, but this will change all that. Exactly the same spot where Atkinson went off. But Manfred is able to continue, though he tumbles down to 11th place. Meanwhile, Guy Frekkeland's found a good place to view the action.
It's important to see the handling of the car, the comportment, and to compare our car to the other cars, and also the driving of the drivers.
Marcus Gronholm, remember, hoped to pick up the pace here, and the splits do suggest that he's the fastest man on stage so far. He was convinced that these stages would be drier and that Seb's soft tyres would be destroyed. But what does Guy think?
So Guy, describe for me Marcus's style there.
Yes, and this dry condition, he stay on the rails, and he's very clear in this driving. We are waiting now for Sebastien with soft tires. Probably that it's more it's different. It's more slide.
Loeb looks pretty good to me, but what does his boss have to say?
At this point, Sebastien was faster for 4 seconds. If he can keep this difference to the end of the stage, it's a very good choice for this morning.
So you're a very happy man this morning?
For this morning, yes, for this morning. But it's not finished.
Always that note of caution from Guy. You'd think he'd be more confident by now. Time for him to get back to the service park. We'll stay with Seb as he finishes the stage. Gronholm's already through and Seb will have his split times. He's a master at driving to the splits and that's the time to beat. And he's done it, 4.1 seconds, taking his lead to 15. And there's confirmation of that lead. Petter Solberg, meanwhile, has dropped further behind Mikko Hirvonen. The margin now more than 13 seconds. With Stoll out of the points, Carlsen's now 7th, and Henning Solberg sneaks into the top 8. At the service park, there's a chance to examine more carefully the issue of tyre choice. How much impact has it had in the battle for the lead?
We had information that it's raining in the stage. In the street stage it was raining, but we had also the information that the rain will stop. But okay, then you have to think it will dry or not. And for that we thought it was raining hard, so the water will go in the gravel, then it will be also wet under the gravel, and so with the different cars I thought it will be muddy, and then I said okay, I chose soft tires.
No, we heard that it was raining, it was damp, and then but we knew also that they are quite aggressive, abrasive, the road from the recce, so I was a little bit afraid to go with a softer compound. But Loeb took the softer one. So I had no other choices than to take the 9 compound what we have, and it was not so bad.
I think I made the right choice.
What can you do this afternoon?
What I can do? I don't know.
Stage 11 is a rerun through Silves Orique, the longest stage of the rally at 30 kilometres. And on this long stage, there's a problem for Citroen's number 2 driver, Dani Sordo. Look at that driver's door swinging open. He's 5th overall coming into the afternoon loop and is driving his own rally with no one near enough to catch or be caught by. But his door's still swinging open. It must be distinctly disconcerting for the Spaniard. As for Marcus Gronholm, this time out he's chosen medium compound tyres. And coming into this afternoon loop, he trails Loeb by 15 seconds overall. Petter Solberg is now 13 seconds behind 3rd place Mikko Hirvonen. He's eager to catch the Finn and take the podium position for himself. He's still looking for his first top 3 position of the season. Back at the start, Seb knows he has to keep on the attack to keep the lead. This time, he's the only driver to have chosen hard tyres. Mikko Hirvonen's fighting to stay ahead of Petter. He's coming into the last section of the stage now. Solberg's already through. Mikko's 13.3 seconds ahead of the Norwegian overall. And it looks like he could extend that lead here. 4.1 seconds quicker. The gap between them now 17.4. We rejoin Marcus Gronholm. He's into the final sector of the stage. 15 seconds is a manageable target, or it would be if it wasn't Loeb he was chasing. He's putting in a good drive here, but as he did this morning, Loeb's closing in over the final sector of the stage.
Marcus, the same as this morning. You extended the lead in the splits and then he just catches it back up at the end.
I don't know. But we are again on the different tires. He have harder tires, which is completely right now because my tires are quite bad. I don't understand. We are always wrong.
So Marcus frustrated and Seb's just about to finish the stage. There's Gronholm's time. He's the fastest so far on this long stage, and we're into the last few hundred metres. There's not much in it, but Loeb wins again by 1.7 seconds. His lead now 16.7.
I had to take big risks, pushing very, very hard from this time, and okay, this time I have more harder tires than Marcus. This morning it was softer, now it's harder, but okay, we'll see.
No changes in position. Those two battles still up for grabs. Both Gronholm and Petter Solberg will try to pile the pressure on their rivals. And in 8th place, Henning Solberg's now just 6 seconds behind Daniel Carlson. So to stage 12, Ulrike, which is just under 25 kilometres long. Henning Solberg made it into the points after the morning loop saw the demise of both Atkinson and Stoll. It hasn't been a sparkling performance, the Norwegian seeming to lack a little confidence here, but on this stage he beats Carlson by 7.2 seconds to take 7th place from the Swede. It's a good stage for his brother too. Petter is faster than Mikko Hirvonen, albeit only nibbling back a 1.5 seconds from the Finn. Petter though, always a pleasure to watch. But there are problems for Marcus Gronholm. He's damaged his front suspension for the 2nd time this rally. That means the Focus isn't handling as well as it should, which will of course affect his pace. And what about Loeb? Is his choice of hard tyres still paying off? Well, he seems to have an almost psychic ability to predict the conditions, and once again all seems to be turning out well for him. Just sit back and watch a master at work. Loeb and Elena win their 5th stage of the day, 10 seconds faster than Petter, but more importantly, 14 seconds faster than Marcus. And he makes it a clean sweep, winning stage 13-2. His rally lead now looking impregnable, 40 seconds ahead of Gronholm. Mikko Hirvonen's 3rd, but he's far from secure with Petter Solberg just 13 seconds behind in 4th. This rally's already caught out a number of drivers. Stay with us, there's plenty more to come. Welcome back to the final day of Rally Portugal, where once again Sebastien Loeb is in the lead. It gets increasingly difficult to think of new ways to praise him, so let's leave the descriptions of his genius to a few men who know a fair bit about what makes a rallying great.
For me, Sebastien is the Michael Schumacher of rallying.
You're a triple world champion, you know. How hard is it for you to keep trying?
It's not hard to motivate. I think the motivation for me comes from the fight that I have in the stage. I don't think all the time I'm driving only for the title or for something. It's just because I like that, and I don't like to lose. I like to win.
The plain truth is that his grandfather was from Finland, and that explains everything. Otherwise, he couldn't be so good.
But he seems to have the mentality for it, and I never believed I could see that kind of mentality from a guy living in the south of France, because that was the strength for us from the Nordic countries in the old days.
Oh, well, that's very. It's a mathematical equation. Gives an easy answer. He uses brake less than any other driver.
I was dreaming to be one-time world champion. Now I'm 3 times. So okay, if I'm 4, it will be better. But if it's 3, it's not bad. So I think I reached my goal in running, and now it's more for the pleasure and because I like that I drive.
And confirmation there of what's been another masterful drive from the 3-time world champion. Sebastien brings a lead of more than 40 seconds into leg 3. There are still 5 stages to go, and we start the day with the 17.5 kilometres of Loule Almodovar. Daniel Carlson dropped to 8th on the afternoon of day 2, but starts day 3 in fine form, overhauling Henning Solberg and retaking 7th. In 6th is Henning Stobart VK4 teammate Jari-Matti Latvala. No danger, no drama. There's no one close enough to threaten him. But 3rd place Mikko Hirvonen does have someone on his heels. Mikko in fighting form there, and he starts the day just 13 seconds ahead of Petter Solberg. So far he's been unable to comprehensively beat the Norwegian though. Petter's out on the stage already. He and the Subaru team would love it if he could find enough pace to get on the podium. He's kept on snapping away at Hirvonen and just needs a few big stage performances. Back at the start, Sebastien Loeb's waiting to get going. His lead's just over 40 seconds after winning all 6 stages on day 2. Hard to bet against him winning his 31st rally. Meanwhile, coming towards the end of stage 14, here's Hirvonen. He said he simply couldn't understand how Seb and Marcus were setting such fast times on day 2, but perhaps he's found out their secret because he's blazing through this stage. This is an excellent display, 13.5 seconds faster than his rival, now 26.5 ahead overall.
Well, there's no sweat on you, don't look like you've done anything yet.
No, I really tried that. I have to say, notes were just perfect. I could push quite easily, really hard, and you know, that's a fantastic stage. I really enjoyed it.
Less fun for his teammate. Gronholm had something of a scare last night. The stewards found his car was about 5 kilograms underweight. He lost a few bits of bodywork in the course of the afternoon stages. The stewards' inquiry gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it could have easily been disaster for Ford. Seb's approaching the finish now. Marcus already through here, of course. The Frenchman's just as motivated now as he was heading towards his first victory in Germany 5 years ago. There's Marcus's time, and Seb's looking quick. 4 seconds faster. His lead 44.5 seconds. The day starting well for Seb.
I don't want to lose my 40 seconds, so I was driving like I feel, no risk, and I think Marcus was not pushing so hard, so okay.
He said there's no need for him to drive fast because you're so far in front.
Good idea.
He's another 4 seconds faster in stage 15, so that lead now up to 48.5 seconds. Mikko beat Petter again too. The margin between them now 38 seconds. Those two battles appear to be resolved with 3 stages to go. It's the last service of the rally, and Mikko Hirvonen is pleased with his morning's work.
Mikko, did you make a conscious effort this morning to push hard?
Yeah, I did. Already last night. Well, after the recce, though, I really liked those stages and had a look at those from the video. Practiced those a little bit last night, and I decided that, okay, the first stage in the morning, I'm going to nail it in there, and it did work well.
I didn't have any left from the tires the other guys used. I used everything yesterday, and unfortunately. So it was moving quite a lot, but we will see now. Everything can still happen, and but what can I say? I tried my best.
Stage 16 sees Marcus take 7.5 seconds out of Sebastien Loeb's lead. Too little, too late though, while Mikko again beats Petter to extend his lead over the Norwegian. On to stage 17, where there are problems for a homegrown driver. Portugal's Armindo Araújo blocking the stage after losing control of his Mitsubishi. It's already posing difficulties to the later runners, only a small gap there to get through. Henning Solberg's next into the stage. Oh, but he's got problems. He's stranded at the start line here. He's got clutch problems and is hemorrhaging time. He does get moving eventually, but loses 3 minutes and drops out of the points. No such issues for Jari-Matti Latvala. He puts in another strong performance, 4th fastest on stage, and looking safe in 6th place overall.
30 huomio vasemmiin.
Half a minute ahead is the Citroën of Dani Sordo. We haven't seen much of him in Portugal. There's not much to report. A steady display, but no fireworks from the Spaniard. In fourth and losing ground to third place Mikko Hirvonen is Petter Solberg. The Subaru man has reported engine problems on the road section between stages 16 and 17. The new Impreza not completely free of glitches by the looks of it. We'll be hoping it doesn't jeopardise fourth place.
The last 5 to 7 kilometers I didn't have any... It went on 3 cylinders. So I don't know what it is.
Will it get you back to the Super Special?
Yeah, but I will lose a lot of time. So I hope everything... at least I can go through there without any problems.
All that, of course, is great news for Mikko Hirvonen. No need to push to the limit and risk going off. His great morning has paid dividends, and he can drive more conservatively this afternoon. After stage 17, he's nearly 1 minute and 26 seconds ahead of Solberg and is on course for his 13th podium position.
Mikko, 1 stage to go. That looks like third place fairly secure now.
Yeah, it looks very good at the moment. 1 stage to go, and I think I can manage that and get to 6 points.
And it looks like both Fords will make it onto the podium. Marcus Grönholm's finishing the rally on a flyer, winning stages 16 and 17. For the team, this result, assuming this is how it ends, means they'll stay top of the standings, as will Marcus in the Drivers' Championship. Sebastien Loeb drops 7.5 seconds to Marcus on stage 17, but it doesn't matter. He still leads by more than 30 seconds. He's heading for his 15th win on gravel. He's already won 15 on tarmac, statistically proving his equal ability on both surfaces. Just the Super Special to go then, and the positions look determined. Henning Solberg's loss of time means Gigi Gali is promoted to the top 8, just behind the highest placed OMV Kronos Citroën, Daniel Carlsen. Now, if you've ever wondered how to turn a football stadium into a racetrack, this should give you a clue. Once the rally organisers had permission from the owners to use it, first they did some creative thinking and then some serious cosmetic surgery, taking up the grass and replacing it with a racetrack. It took 10 days and it'll take another 15 to take up the track and replace the turf. But I'm sure you'll agree, it's worth it. The fans certainly seem to be loving it. Back here again for the finale of Rally Portugal. Again a festive atmosphere and again great action. Matthew Wilson making his mark, and Gigi Gali celebrates getting into the points. Oh, watch out Gigi. It helps to stay on your feet when you're showing off. Totally undaunted, he's back on the roof to milk the applause. That battle for third was really won this morning, but this is where the result is rubber stamped. Petter Solberg's car managing to master the 2-kilometre circuit despite that engine problem. And Ford's Mikko Hirvonen finishing a very good day at the office. Petter, though, has to be satisfied with fourth. While Mikko celebrates his 12th podium in 15 rallies. The big duel, of course, was for the win between rallying's big guns, the 3-times world champion Sebastien Loeb. Wowing the fans with a massive jump. And double world champion Marcus Grönholm. Marcus made a strong start leading for the first 6 stages, but he just couldn't hold off the attacking Loeb. The Frenchman has proven time and again his skills on the stages. What must be even harder for his rivals to stomach is his almost psychic ability to make decisions off them. I can only think of one occasion in recent years when he's made a wrong tyre choice. They're putting in a fantastic display for the rally fans, the sort of performance this great stadium deserves. The Citroën team is keen to watch this final act as the fans. And fittingly, Seb wins the stage as he wins the rally. A 31st career win for Seb and his co-driver Daniel Eleanor, whose perfect pace notes have played such a huge role in the duo's success. Here are the final standings. Loeb topping the table, Grönholm second and Hirvonen third. Petter Solberg the only Subaru to finish in 4th place. 5 points for the Norwegian then, and Daniel Carlsen scored points in all 3 rallies he's entered this season.
Sebastien, congratulations. Another very successful outing in the C4.
Yeah, very nice rally for us again. Big fight again with Marcus. We won our second gravel rally on this season, so that's great new for the future and the championship.
And second in the championship.
Still second in the championship with 3 victories. Marcus won on 5 races and still second. So it proves that it's really important to fight for the points, even if you cannot win. To finish second is really important.
Do you know what you need to do to beat Sebastien?
Okay, we are going to change the car a bit now, and let's see how it works, and then we have to be always correct with the tire choices and things like that. So that's the reason.
In the Drivers' Championship, Marcus's lead is cut to 2 points from Sebastien. Mikko Hirvonen stays close to the top 2 on 32 points, while Peter Solberg climbs above his brother to take 5th. In the manufacturer's standings, still looking good for Ford, staying 15 points ahead of Citroën. Subaru are a point above Stobart in 3rd place. Next month, the WRC takes the long trip to one of the most eagerly anticipated events of the season, Rally Argentina. You'll find a preview on WRC.com. So, Portugal's return to the WRC proves to be another happy hunting ground for this generation's greatest rally driver, Sebastien Loeb. We'll leave you with memories of the Algarve. Join us again next month in the Pampas.
Hey!